The Star Wars series. But now I want you guys to think of something. You know how many TV shows, how many cartoons, how many animated series, how many Star Wars movies, the books, literally the thousands of novelizations
that Disney destroyed in their Disney fanon, by the way, sir,
that have been created. And you think of all these books. Josh owns a lot, or used to, and his his bedroom at my aunt's house had a lot of Star Wars books.
Oh God.
About Ferus Olin.
Oh my God, I still have those.
And Darth Vader, and all these Darth Vader legends, and all this Wikipedia. You cannot keep up with Star Wars canon. Because sometimes they actually say there are rumors that the cartoons tie in with the movies, like if they were real life, like they tie in somehow, like Ahsoka and...
What are your thoughts on that? About the
It doesn't... What they're trying to do is they're trying to provoke a... I feel like a professor. They're trying to provoke a sense of... I just had it, but I lost it. You can't... It does not work. When I imagine Star Wars cartoons being canonical to a film series, it does not. It's like, okay, if it was live action, maybe.
Yes.
But cartoons, they're trying to make it your brain transform the cartoon into a movie.
Real life. Oh my God, he got it. He got it right here. This is what I've been. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I have the right to free speech. I've been telling this to people on IMDb when they had the message boards for years, since 2007. How the fuck does a 3D or a 2D cartoon match up with the films? When you say, well, I'm watching Revenge and Job will see stuff like this, and him and I talked about it, you'll see, it's weird to imagine that he once was a master to Ahsoka. Mm-hmm. Do you imagine Ahsoka as the 3D counterpart or as a live-action counterpart when you mention her? Mm-hmm. Or think of her being in the films? You naturally, how would you see her? 3D or real life when you mention her in the YouTube comments?
Well, when I mention her, I know her from the majority of the cartoon.
Okay.
So when someone says, hey, you know Ahsoka's part of the canon, I'm like, yeah, kind of. But, I mean, like, yeah, but I've seen Ahsoka so infinitively much more on the cartoon basis than I have on live action. So when I hear Ahsoka, I immediately think of the whiny little teen that was Anakin's Padawan in the Clone Wars series back in like 2011 or whenever they made it. That's
so
what I
see her as a cartoon.
Yeah, so that's why it doesn't mesh. If it was live action, like maybe filmed with like what we're using a Canon, like T5i or some sort of lower if like some like Netflix series, they use lower quality cameras. If they made like a Star Wars series and said it's canonical, I can kind of believe that.
Yeah.
Still gonna have a hard time if it's not Lucasfilms or Disney or whatever, but the best way to ensure that it's canonical, you gotta have the opening crawl, it has to be used with the same sort of cinematic camera, the storyline has to match up, and no, for gosh sakes, no cartoon. Mm-hmm. It's not canonical because, one, characters don't change from cartoon to that, and two, even if they're trying to get you to imagine the cartoon as live action,
you're gonna see live action.
Doesn't work, and the plot's flawed because on the Wikipedia for Darth Maul 1, his status says deceased.
Oh my God.
In the Clone Wars, he has a spider leg.
See? Okay. God damn it. He did it again. Sorry, I think. Oh God. Look what I did with his phone. Job, I'm sorry.
What?
Look what I did.
What?
Look at that. I cracked the damn screen
What? You did?
See that? Well, we probably can't. Let me get in the light.
Oh, I'm so mad.
Oh my God.
I could just. Ah! You're gonna die! Ah! Sorry about that. I lost my cool.
So, he mentioned exactly what I've been saying. One, people are saying, Job, the Ahsoka is canon. She matches up with the films perfectly because George Lucas or Disney or whoever said it. No, Josh, Darth Maul did not die at the end of episode 1. He came back in the Clone Wars. Now, let me just say this. George Lucas read the short story in 2006 called Old Wounds. I love it, by the way. It's an animation on Newgrounds about Darth Maul meeting up with Obi-Wan and fighting, and Obi-Wan kills him once and for all. And George Lucas said, yeah, I read that, but that's not my story. Darth Maul died. And this was in 2006. Darth Maul died at the end of episode 1. He had been saying in the commentary to that movie and in Attack of the Clones that, oh no, Darth Maul died. It was the first Sith Lord that Obi-Wan killed.
Yep.
And this is after Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. There's that cartoon, the Clone Wars, that Joe mentioned cartoon, 3D one, where Maul pops up before Revenge of the Sith, again, and his brother, Savage, Opress. Okay characters, I will say, but fuck it, he died episode 1. He doesn't have a goddamn brother. Anyway, that's beside the point. Not once in Revenge of the Sith did Anakin or anyone ever say, or Yoda come up and say, "Fought Darth Maul again after a thing you did." Never once. Never once. They said, "You're a great Jedi, Obi-Wan. You're a good friend. I disrespect you, my master. You're my mentor." And, Anakin was saying this, and Yoda was saying this, and everyone else. They really respect. But they never once mentioned, Darth Maul came back and you fought him again as his brother. Really? Sorry, went a little bit too far with that. I need to take my medicine. But no. Never once gets mentioned. Ahsoka. Obi-Wan never once says, when he's complimenting Anakin, he says, "You're a good friend. You've been a decent Padawan learner, and all this other stuff." Never once says, "Well, look at your achievements. You had a Padawan." Well, people say, "Well, she left the Jedi Order."
Never had a Padawan.
Yes.
Anakin never had a Padawan.
Never match up. The Jedi Order did not trust him. Remember when he said, "Make me a master," and then Mace Windu said, "You're on the council, but we do not grant you the rank of master." If they trusted him enough with a Padawan, why the hell wouldn't they make him a master?
While you're doing that, you keep explaining. I'm going to pull up something, and if it's right, it's going to destroy all this thing that they're saying about this canon. Let me...
Okay. And it doesn't match up. And Anakin calling someone Snips?
Yep.
Snips. And in the Clone Wars cartoon, did he not have his episode 3 hair? And yet, at the end of Attack of the Clones, he had the beads still and the long hair and the Duke Nukem style top. It doesn't match up. And people say, "Well, General Grievous came from the Clone Wars 2D cartoon." That matches up because Anakin and Obi-Wan had already acted like they met him in Return of the Sith, Revenge of the Sith. They acted like they had already met him, so that matches up. They never. It just. Ahsoka, no matter how much you want to suck her alien tit Padawan, she'll never match up.
Sorry. Well, I actually couldn't pull it up because it was some character that in the episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, there was the deleted scene where they killed, her name's actually Shakti.
Yep.
And I thought it was Ahsoka, so if it was Ahsoka, I was going to say, the Clone Wars series does happen in the Clone Wars, but it extends when she's much more adult than she is in there. She's has 2 sabers, yes. She's freaking... and it wouldn't make sense if she died because I think I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway. He's
right. That was Shakti in a deleted scene.
Yeah.
I remember. I know what you're talking about. She shot 2 of them. She shot 2 deleted death scenes. One, I think, might have been a Lego Star Wars, but it was a little cutscene or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then there were 2. The one where she's sitting there and Grievous rams her with a saber in the water thing. And then there's one where she's at the Jedi Temple and Anakin comes in and slices her. But... it's just like Job said. The cartoons, they don't. The 2D cartoon does.
Yeah.
Except Asajj Ventress, which you like her and I like her, right? You like her?
Yeah.
I like her. I really do. She has Count Dooku's lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
I do like her, but does she match up with the films? It's debatable. Because Anakin killed her in the 2D cartoon.
Yeah.
Because I remember Job had that DVD and I watched, and I thought that was a really cool fight. But it's debatable. I mean, if she was part of the canon, it wouldn't bug me too much. But again, when they're listing, he had a Padawan and then he killed Asajj Ventress. Why would they not then make him a master?
Yep. And something that will destroy all the people that believe the cartoons and animations and books. They're the novelizations of the movies, where they novelize into words, where they put it into words for people that have a hard time with some scenes understanding. Those are canonical if it's by a good author, or if it's backed by Warner Bros. Or Fox or whatever companies that would back it, because those can be canonical. Books can be. Like the fact books about Princess Leia and fact books and character analysis, that's all canon. But when we're talking about like Ferus Olin and stuff, yeah, maybe it was written in a script that was ditched, but we never once hear that, or Ferus Olin, we never once hear that name, I don't think, ever.
That's true.
And the thing that would destroy all the people that are saying that the cartoons are and whatever are canonical is the Clone Wars, from what I remember, extended only in the Outer Rim planets, and there's a section of the galaxy called the Outer Rims, where it's like this few little clusters of planets, and like this place where you really don't want to go because I think that's where the war happened. And in the cartoons, they're going to freaking planets we've never even seen. Like, and I'm pretty sure if you detail the planets in the Outer Rims, there are now. Granted, the Star Wars universe is huge, but from what I can tell, the Clone Wars happened in a big old galaxy cluster. The Clone Wars did not happen every single planet.
That's true.
And the one in the Clone Wars television cartoon, it extends to planets that we've never heard of, that don't happen, because most of the Clone Wars fought mostly in like sandy places, like deserted areas, and Order 66 happened everywhere, but the Clone Wars, the meat of the Clone Wars happened different places in the cartoon, and in the movies you just see glimpses of it. Like, yeah,
it's really like a second, like,
of
it's like stock video kind of.
Yeah.
The Clone Wars is in the background, and then it's just what the Jedi and Sith do that are. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's
a question that I have that I want to bring up after these messages. Something that I want to bring up because Joe brought up quite a valid point about Ferus Olin and the books and stuff that have like Ahsoka and stuff, and how like what was it? Ferus Olin, if you don't know, he is one of the first gay Star Wars characters. I know if you don't know that, I was shocked too, and I was
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's alluded to in the books, but they were it's made by Scholastic.
Uh-huh.
Jude Watson, published by Scholastic, so they couldn't really just outright say, oh, you know, he's married and gay. He's gonna be the first one. He is around during Anakin's day, like early days, like 12 to 18 years old, training in the Jedi Temple, in the Jedi High School, if you will. Now, granted, in the films, we never really see like Anakin really talk to the other Jedi, you know, except for Yoda and Mace Windu and the
Council.
Yeah, the Council. We never really see like his training days. Would it be possible for some of these like book characters, like Jax Paxton, and these are people that he went to school with, would that be possible since it's never really, or would it be impossible?
That's very possible. I know,
but you don't think of it, right?
There are some things in the Wikipedia, as they call it.
I love that.
For the Star Wars, like it's the official Star Wars. Now it's edited by fans, but we like to think that mostly it's true. There are some characters that say it's true to the canon, like the books. I don't think there are mentions again of the cartoons being canonical, but that's silly and stupid. That doesn't make sense. Because the cartoon is not real people.
What if George Lucas made the cartoon?
Now that...
Because he said, they said, can we bring Darth Maul back? And he said, he died at the end of episode 1, and then he finally said, I think they said like a day or two later, bring him back. I want him back now.
You know, that's a good point. If he wanted him back, but then yet again, even if it really honestly truly is canonical, it still doesn't match up in my brain, so I'm still going to refute it.
I agree. So you think Darth Maul died at the end of episode 1?
Yeah, I think he really died. And
one point, hold that thought. You brought up another good point. He brings up good points. What can I say? It makes my brain like, I'm like an engine.
Well-oiled machine brain working.
Yes. So, if someone, which is a vast majority of fans, have only seen the movies, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, would you, based on the movies alone, think that Anakin had a Padawan?
No.
Would you think that Darth Maul was still alive, based on the movies alone?
Nope, not at all.
80% of Star Wars fans have not seen the cartoons, read the books, or all the books.
Darth Maul was forgotten by the end of episode 1. He was never mentioned again unless there was like a scene where someone said his name, but I highly doubt it. Darth Maul was never, ever mentioned, ever, again. Now it is true that in the Clone Wars, Darth Maul has robot legs or whatever, spider legs or whatever, because he did get cut in half. But it's canonical to the cartoon that he got cut in half. Like you could even if the same events happen, in the live action and the cartoons, like if Darth Maul gets cut in half in the cartoons, he gets cut in half in the movies. If Anakin is Darth Vader in the cartoons and he's Darth Vader in live action, even if those are similarities that are the exact same as the movie in live action, or the movies and the cartoons, it's still not canonical like the cartoons and the movies, because they have they're two totally different dimensions or galaxies or dimensions. Like they're two totally different places if they were canonical, and they're not, because cartoons and live action, they did a SpongeBob movie recently that was live action and cartoon at the same time. But it's like, not going to see Ahsoka swinging a big sword on cartoon figure on Star Wars. You know how many people... What if the next Star Wars movie, Black Diamond or whatever they're calling it, has a cartoon character in it? How would you feel? And how much would you get sucked out of that movie like a black hole? I think a lot. So when you guys are pointing fingers at people like us saying, oh, the cartoon characters are canonical to the live action series, bruh. You may say that, but let's pull up a cartoon Darth Maul with spider legs, walking around.
Put it in a live action.
Poorly pasted into the live action, and tell me if that's canonical and makes sense. That's like Space Jam.
Yes, when you see Ahsoka, like I said earlier when I talked to Joe about it, in the comments, oh, she's canon in the movies. If they were to put, like, how do you see her?
Yeah.
Do you see her in the 3D model in the live action film, or as a live action character with an actual outfit made or whatever? I got a question while you're looking that up. If they were to add Ahsoka into like episode 8, no shit, we already made episode 8. Episode 9, Disney's so bad I lost the fucking numbers in my head. But if they were to add Ahsoka into episode 9, would you then accept her story as canonical?
Cartoon-wise, I still can't.
Movie-wise. Like they add her into episode 9, and she's a character with an actual outfit on and the...
Now that, if they... Yeah.
Would you only accept her movie role in that, at like episode 9 only, not the...
I would believe her origin story if they gave it and it was properly executed, because I mean there are so many characters and there are so many aliens and people, trillions upon trillions of life forms in the Star Wars galaxy that they're probably... I'm not saying she doesn't exist in the movie galaxy, but she's never mentioned.
Yeah.
So it's possible she could be there. And let me ask you.
High five. Yes.
You see this? Let me see if you tell me if you can see that in a live action movie. Big lips, Nigerian eyes.
Well, that's gonna be racist. We're gonna
hoops. How do you see that in a live action movie?
And they're like, Shock T, Job.
Shock T, Job.
He broke the fourth wall.